Hello, Syngap land. My name is Michael Gralia, and this is episode 18 of Syngap 10. Today is July 9th, 2021, and I'm here to tell you everything you need to know about Syngap 1 in 10 minutes or less, which is always a trick because there's a lot going on. Let me begin with the most important thing, which is raising some money for Syngap. Syngap.fund/CTR for clinical trial readiness. Syngap.fund/CTR for clinical trial readiness. Woohoo! We have raised $26,000. We need to raise more. We're taking the data we've gathered in Citizen. We're building a natural history study. We're doing some biomarker work. This is all very important. Please go to that link and either start a fundraising team and or give as much or as little as you can because we need to raise some funds to make this work happen. We look forward to your support. Thank you very much. Birthday fundraisers are a big deal for Syngap research. Not only do they help us raise money, but they also raise awareness. So if you do a Syngap a Facebook fundraiser for us, for Syngap Research Fund, we will find you and we will thank you with a coupon code for our store. For every $250 you raise, we will give you a $25 coupon code for our store. So if you raise $1,000, that's $100 off Syngap gear. And that's pretty cool because then you get to wear the Syngap gear and raise awareness for Syngap 1 and Syngap Research Fund. So think about that. Syngap.fund/blog is my next link. We put out a blog post today about Syngap variants. You probably heard different people talk about missense and frameshift and nonsense. And is my gene being studied or is my mutation being studied? All these things. Read this blog. It answers a lot of those questions. A lot of parents reach out to us asking these things. Syngap.fund/blog. Read the most recent blog. Learn all about what we're doing with these different variants and what it means, what your different variant types mean. Moving on, I want to talk about a webinar and a couple of events that are coming up. So syngap.fund/webinar is where you can go to find all of our webinars. And we have one on Saturday, webinar, sorry, I can't spell. We have one on Saturday that Saturday, July 17th. So not tomorrow if you're seeing this on Friday, but next week at 9 Pacific, noon Eastern. And it's with Dr. Frazier talking about his work to develop a validated scale for Syngap 1. It's going to be fascinating. I encourage anybody who's listening to this to check it out. It's free, of course. But families, specifically, please do go. Please listen and learn about how you can participate in Dr. Frazier's important work and help make sure that your Syngapian is included in this work to validate this scale. So Dr. Frazier is great, and we're grateful for that. 2 meetups coming up. July 28th in San Diego, the Hardings are graciously hosting at their home, 3 p.m. Details in the SRF North America group. If you're anywhere near San Diego on July 28th, check it out. 3 days later in Beach Haven, New Jersey, Nancy, also on our board, is hosting on August 1st for the afternoon. Details in the New York group. If you can't find the details, reach out to me. I can connect you to Nancy and the Hardings. Wonderful what they're doing. What's cool about the Beach Haven event is that Karen's going to do a cameo, which is really cool. Karen, if you don't know, is the oldest living Syngapian in the U.S. that we are aware of. She is someone who's very special to all of us who have a loved one with Syngap, and we are the people who go to that get to meet Karen in the flesh. It's just going to be super cool. So check all that out. If you're having a meetup, let us know. Let us know so we can tell people and we can connect more families because that's the magic of this work, right? Connecting the families and getting to know each other. Syngap.fund/warrior. Speaking about the families, don't miss our Wednesday Warrior program. We have 121. We have 121. We've been doing this over 2 years. 121 Wednesday Warriors are on our website. And the 4 most recent are from Egypt, Texas, Quebec, Argentina. I mean, it's so cool. It's so cool if you think about it. You can travel the world and learn about how these Syngapians are going through life. So syngap.fund/warrior. Don't miss it. Very cool stuff. I want to tell you about this morning. So the past couple podcasts, I've been like, let me tell you about what happened this week. Forget this week. Let me tell you about this morning. It was bananas. So we had a meeting this morning with a communications company that's working for a rare disease umbrella group in the UK that wants to do a poster for a meeting, a rare disease summit. Wonderful, wonderful. Love these meetings. Love talking to people who need to learn about Syngap 1 so they can help us do a better job of communicating with clinicians and help people understand. This is such a gift, and we're grateful. These meetings are always fascinating. And one of the questions that we predictably get from pharma and from people who work with pharma is, okay, if we can't cure everything or we can't address everything, what should we go after, right? Like, what symptom is most troubling for a Syngapian? And it's like, well, first of all, we have a monogenic disease, which means we know exactly what gene is causing the problem. So if you can fix it, please fix it, right? We have 2 copies of every gene, one from mom, one from dad. All of our kids have a typo in one of them. So we can either make the good copy work harder, or we can fix the typo in the bad copy. But since we all have different typos, that'll be expensive and complicated. So it's much easier to make the good copy work harder. But whatever you can do, Big Pharma, please help our kids get more Syngap. Because without Syngap, they have all these things. Okay, but let me humor you. Let me answer your question. If you have to fix something, start with the seizures, because our kids' seizures cause all these other problems. They interfere with sleep, they cause behavior, they interrupt learning, etc. And then after that, what do we say? And we debated this a little bit, and we agree that for our, even those of us who have kids who can talk, it's really hard to communicate with them and to understand what they're dealing with and what issues they're having. So, but if the kids can't talk, my goodness. So improving communication and anything that would help our kids be better communicators would be huge. So we put that second on the list. Third would be behaviors, because behaviors of Syngapians are super challenging, like super challenging. And then we talked about sleep. And the reason I share this with you is because A, if you're ever talking to a farmer, they're going to ask you this question. You got to be ready. If we can only fix one thing, what should we fix? B, if you're like Mike, why on earth did you say seizure, communication, behavior, sleep? You should have said, call me up and tell me what that is. Because in this role I have where I work all day, every day as a Syngap advocate, I am speaking for this community, and it's a responsibility I take very seriously. So if you want something else said, please reach out to me. Let's talk about it, because it's important work. We've got to make sure we're on the same page. I want to talk about two other meetings I had this morning, which were just fascinating. One of them was with a mom in Ireland. Child's 3.5, 8 weeks ago, had a seizure, went to the hospital. They said, child seizure, not good. Genetic testing, 8 weeks later, Syngap 1. Just amazing work to the team on Temple Street in Dublin for getting that kid a diagnosis 8 weeks early. I think that's pretty darn fast. Personally, I think it should take 24 hours, but it's my job to be unreasonable. I'm a patient advocate. 8 weeks, if I'm honest, is amazing. And in the U.S., let's be honest. I mean, I'm not saying it's always like this, but too often, child has seizure, referred to neurology. Well, maybe it was a one-off. We never know. Child had another seizure. Maybe this is testing. Okay, let's do chromosome microarray. Oh God, there's insurance. Boom. Not Fragile X. Okay, let's do a panel. Fight with insurance. A few months later. Okay, do the test. Maybe a result. Go to genetic counseling a few months later. I mean, it takes way too long to get a genetic diagnosis for our kids. Some of our kids are faster than what I just said, but too many are even longer. So just a moment to say it was such a pleasure to meet this mom from Ireland today, and so exciting and impressive. Temple Street, Dublin Hospital. Really just, I wish everyone was that fast. We'd have so many more diagnoses. Remember last week we announced the quarterly Syngap census was 808. So we're already ticking up. Then I had another meeting with another mom, and I don't want to get too much into this because the blow-by-blow gets really complicated. But back to behaviors, right? So our kids, I can tell you about my son. My son is on anticonvulsant medication. My son is on anti-anxiety medication. My son is on anti-impulsivity medication. My son is on melatonin for sleep. That's a lot of meds for a little 7-year-old boy. It's a lot of meds. And as these kids get bigger, frankly, but that's not that much compared to some of our kids. Some of our kids are on like a lot of meds. And there's this case I became aware of this morning where kid had been exhibiting some pretty startling symptoms. I don't want to get too much into it, but mom was worried. And so mom goes to the doctors, and this kid is late teens. And so child was under medication for, epilepsy, of course, behaviors, Ritalin, antidepressants, all the whole 9 yards, which is common. I'll be honest, our kids are on a lot of drugs. But the trouble is, the neurologist writes the epilepsy drugs, and then the psychiatrist writes the behavior drugs, and then if you have GI issues, you get other people writing other drugs, and our kids are these chemistry experiments. There's a lot going on, and then one doctor is like, we should change this. And what this one doctor did is they knocked one drug up and one drug down. I think they knocked up the Haldol and down the Ritalin or something else. I can't even remember anymore. But the punchline is, one of those the drug that they knocked down was repressing the drug that they knocked up. So as a result, the drug that they knocked up a lot. And at the same time, that drug caused other effects that meant that one of the drugs this kid was on for seizures, the levels went through the roof. And as a result of this, the child had these very troubling symptoms, right? And mom had to fight like hell to get the doctors to do the tests, to get the levels, to get the neuro and the psych to talk to each other and to figure out what was wrong with her baby. And I don't share it with you because I think the doctor did something wrong. I just share it with you because it's like, you got to understand that our kids are on so many drugs, and our parents, in addition to barely sleeping and somehow holding a life together and taking care of these very sick kids, have to navigate these insane meetings and discussions between neuros and psychiatrists and meds, and it's madness. It's madness. And the challenge we have is making this clear to people. Like, Syngap 1 is a serious disease that requires incredible attention and expertise, and we need more experts and more attention because there's a lot of these kids. So that was this week in Syngap land for me. Please, guys, we need to do more work. We need to help more kids. Syngap.fund/CTR. Help us help everyone by getting our community ready for clinical trials. Thanks for listening. Have a wonderful weekend.